Hey everyone, this is Lomi, and today I'm sharing just a little something extra. I've been working on Chibi character sheets for a personal project, partly to get me drawing again, because I haven't in so long. I'll be coloring one of my character Rune today. I started with a traditional pencil and ink drawing that I digitally inked in Photoshop. This gives me the lines on their own layer, and everything else is transparent, so I can do the coloring on layers underneath the line art. I do most of my digital art in Photoshop, but I also use Painter and occasionally Illustrator. Photoshop is what I'm most comfortable with, though, and it's fine for what I'm doing here. I'll be drawing everything on individual layers anyway, so converting it to a vector in Illustrator will be easy if I decide to do that later. So my general rule for coloring is that I make a new layer for anything that's touching. So the shirt, pants, cloak, all those get their own layer because they touch. But all the little items are colored on 2 layers because only 2 colors touch on them. Then I'll add highlights and shadows on their own layers. And inevitably mess up and color on the wrong layer at some point, but that's okay. I try a few different colors for things, just because I don't really have a plan for this. Rune wears a lot of dark or muted colors, but those aren't fun. So I change these colors around a lot. I like this brown, but it's better for the cloak, and I like that blue, but it's better for his shirt. Things like that. I don't know why, but some of the colors in the video are showing up darker or more saturated than they are in the actual illustration. I thought it had something to do with me changing from RGB to CMYK color halfway through the coloring process, but I don't think that's it. I think it's my video editor. Since these are going to be printed, I want them to be in CMYK because it prints better. The colors are usually more true and even. Normally I would set it to CMYK mode when I begin, but I forgot this time. It defaults to RGB. When I start shading, I try to keep things simple. I'm also trying to restrict myself to using pre-existing color swatches, because I find limiting my palette sometimes makes me more conscious of color choices. When I add the shadows, I use the magic wand to select the empty space on the layer where I've colored something, then invert the selection to draw the new layer without going outside the lines. His pendant is supposed to be a piece of labradorite, so it has a lot of color in it. I actually bought one of these gems to try to make the necklace for my doll, but I put it in a box of jewelry supplies and now I have no idea where it is, so he might be waiting for a while. I'm not happy with some of the color options for shading, so I may end up using gray on a multiply layer for a few things. That looks okay, so we'll see how far I can go before I resort to using it. I think it's going to be a must for his scales. His eyes are the only part I use soft shading for, just because I think they're prettier that way. There's not really a lot of science to what I'm doing. I think a gradient will work better for his cloak. That's easier and looks fine, I think. I'm not totally happy with the shape of his pants right here, so I'm going to redraw that to be a little more consistent with the perspective I have going. I'm not really putting a lot of thought into any of this. It's probably not correct in some places, but I draw so rarely anymore that I decided when I started this project, I'd worry more about what was fun rather than what was correct. Sometimes I find myself sacrificing enjoyment for trying to push and learn and improve, and sometimes that's not really what matters. It can also lead to burnout, and I definitely don't want to do that. I can't find a color I like for his hair anywhere. I'll just pick one. It may not print as nicely as the other options, but it'll be okay. I'm planning to print out all these little character sheets and put them in my story planner as part of the character bios. So alongside each of the characters, I'm drawing a collection of items that they're mentioned as having at some point in the story. I thought coloring the line art might look good, but these are going to be printed with the characters like 2.5 inches tall, so I think leaving the line art black will help it pop more. I'm sure I'll see something I missed coloring or shading as soon as I look at this tomorrow, because that's the way it usually goes. My video editor really messed up the colors on this final shot, so I'll have to post this on my website too. All in all though, I think he turned out pretty cute. And that's about it. Thanks for watching this little bonus update. Bye!